Well, so it was hard to walk away from the NFL draft to come do this break, huh? Both for watching and for me conducting it. I think it's been quite interesting so far, the first round. But yeah, of course, the most interesting are always the first four or five, but it's been, as a whole, a few little surprises mixed in there tonight. Okay, guys, so we are opening a handful of football breaks and then a half case of Bowman baseball. So what we have on tap, an autographed football jersey, a one-box break of plates and patches, and a half case break of 2011 Prime signatures. Once we do those three, we'll be rolling into Bowman baseball. I would say if you're here for Bowman, you probably are going to have about 15 minutes before we start on that, maybe 20, somewhere in that neighborhood. So that kind of gives you a general frame of reference. Also, there are lots of unpaid teams in Bowman. Yeah, there's like 6 or 8 unpaid teams. So if you guys could get that squared away before we start cracking into the boxes, I would appreciate it. Let's go over a little information before we start tearing into boxes tonight. First up, thank you. I appreciate everybody who comes and watches the break and chats with me, and those of you who didn't break with me. And I really enjoy doing this. It's a lot of fun, and you guys participating is really part of that fun. So thanks to everyone. Secondly, feedback on eBay is completely automated, so you never have to wait on me. As soon as you leave positive feedback for me, you're going to instantly get it in return. Next up, we'll take a quick little spin through of our auctions that are coming up for the next 5 days. I list new stuff pretty much every day, and it usually runs for 5 days. So you'll see that tomorrow night we're going to start ripping into some 2018 score football, and that is a massive break. It's only a third of a case, but it is going to be, I think, 1,400 cards, something like that. Maybe 1,600. Yeah, 1,600, I guess, actually. 1,600 cards in that break. It's going to be huge. Saturday is all kinds of basketball, top to bottom. Sunday, we've got some more jerseys, some more Prime signatures. We're going to bust into some of the Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs. If you haven't looked at the checklist for that, check it out because it is awesome. And then we'll open some more Bowman, start a new case on Sunday. Monday, we will open another gigantic score break. On Tuesday, we'll do a bunch more baseball. So that's kind of what the next 5 days ahead looks like for tonight. This is our order of breaking as well. So it will be the jersey, followed by 2017 plates and patches, then 2011 Prime signatures, then 2018 Bowman baseball. Please note that the first 3 breaks are completely free shipping. Anytime you have an auction that has completely free shipping, it's going to go out of here 6 or 7 days after the auction ends. That's on average. Sometimes it gets out a little faster. Occasionally it's a day later. And if you have another package going in the meantime, it'll probably hitch a ride. Our paid shipping break tonight is Bowman baseball. I have that scheduled to go Saturday. I think well, it might get out tomorrow, but Saturday's probably our safest bet. So that's why that says that. And finally, if you are in a break, one of the first 3 breaks, and your team doesn't pull anything, you are still entitled to a consolation card for your team. Can be from any year, any series, and will be typically sent with your next hit. Of course, Bowman baseball, every team will pull a card, so we don't have to worry about that kind of thing there. First out of the gate is our 2018 Leaf Autograph Football Jersey. It is a Summit Edition jersey. It's in a 2017 box, okay? So I'm calling it break number 20 because, you know, we've opened a bunch of 2017 Leaf, but yet it's the 2018 Summit Edition. So there you go. And, of course, it ended tonight, the 26th of April. We're live streaming it tonight. You will see your team names on the left-hand side, winning bidders across from it on the right. And, of course, one of those spreadsheets will go up before every break. So if you're not in this break, you're still going to get a chance to see your eBay username up there across from your team when we get to your break. Finally, the background is going out of focus. Don't worry, I'm doing that on purpose, and we're still going to be just fine to see everything the way we want to see it. So, and if we're not, I'll tweak it again. And I will show you guys See, there's that little sticker on there that tells us it's the Summit edition. So I guess they just put in, I guess they had 2017 boxes left over. I don't know. So they put some jerseys in for the 2018 Summit, and there we are. I see Eric and Ryan and Jake and Joey are all in chat tonight. Hi to all of you, each of you. Jake says he is a huge Bengals fan. Maybe. Well, he's asking if anyone's a huge Bengals fan, so I'm thinking maybe he is, but that could be wrong. I don't know. Oh, guys, this is a nice one. Oh, this is going to make somebody so happy. Because look who it is. Roger Staubach, man. Sweet. Really nice hit out of here. There is your Leaf Authentics sticker. And in here, there's also a little kind of credit card sized thing. I don't take these out of here most of the time because it's like folding a map. You can never get it back the way it was the first time. But a nice little hit there for the Dallas Cowboys with the Roger Staubach autographed jersey. That is awesome. Hi, T. Cassidy. And Eric, you are asking me if there are any unpaid teams in Bowman. There are a bunch of unpaid teams in Bowman, but I'm hoping that those are going to be paid between now and the time we actually start Bowman. But yeah, we do have some people that hadn't quite got it under control yet in terms of the payment for Bowman. And I see Rye Guys Superfly is also in chat, so hi to you as well. Let's get our spreadsheet up here for the next break. And okay, guys, so next up, of course, is 2017 plates and patches. Once again, please take a moment to review the information there in regard to your anticipated shipping date and the info about consolation cards, which could come into play for you as well. This is one box of 2017 plates and patches football. This is break number 8. It ended tonight, the 26th of April, like everything else we're working on tonight, and we're live streaming it tonight too. Same format as before. Team names on the left. Your name in lights across from it there on the right-hand side. And Rye Guys, you are asking me about Bowman listings. Well, Bowman for tonight has already sold, of course, but we're going to open lots of Bowman in the days ahead. You would just need to jump into one of the auctions on eBay. Do you use eBay, Rye Guy? All right, I can call you Ryan. Okay. Hi, Ryan. Do you use eBay? Oh, Jake, you said you're not a Bengals fan, but you hit a sweet one of one that you need to sell. Okay, now it makes sense why you're asking if there's any Bengals fans. I got you, man. You got to unload a one of one you hit somewhere, huh? Okay. All right, Ryan. My user ID on eBay is Fleaburger. I know that's weird, right? But it's flea like on an animal, burger like you eat, all one word, Fleaburger. Here is Jimmy G for the 49ers. That one is numbered 250. Of course, all of our cards in plates and patches are numbered, even our base cards, so they will all have a number on them. This is to 99, and it is for the Jets with Leonard Williams. This is an interesting printing plate. Usually our printing plates are completely black and white. Of course, this one we've got a little color on it. It is for the Ravens and Dennis Pitta. And of course, all the printing plates are one of one, and I'm sure most of you know they're going to have scratches and variety of things on them because they were really used in the printing process. So that's just considered part of the character of them, if you will. Deshaun Watson coming out for the Texans with a nice patch numbered 250. So Houston Texans with a little rookie Deshaun Watson there. And next up, you know what? We got lucky because these are all loose boxes, but you know what? This is a case hit, and it is for the Browns. It is a one-of-one printing plate with a nice little sticker autograph on it with Isaiah Crowell. So Cleveland Browns with a nice hit there. Case hit out of our loose boxes. I'm not going to complain. And our last card in 17 plates and patches is Nathan Peterman, 250 for the Bills, with a kind of a 3-color patch. You got a tiny little bit of navy over there, and sticker autograph numbered 250. All right, so let's recap this real quick. The Nathan Peterman for the Bills. For the Browns, the nice little 1-of-1 autograph printing plate case hit for Isaiah Crowell. Deshaun Watson patch 250 for the Texans. A Dennis Pitta 1-of-1 printing plate for the Ravens. And then our 2 base cards, which were Leonard Williams and Jimmy G. So that has 2017 plates and patches locked and loaded, which is going to bring us right into some 2011 Prime signatures. Oh, Ryan, you have got Detroit Lions tonight in Prime 6. Okay, so you already know how to find me then on eBay. Awesome, man. Well, hopefully we'll have some luck for you in here. And then I see my other Ryan going, no, but I'm Ryan. I know, it's confusing, right, when there's more than one Ryan in chat. So once again, if you are in this upcoming break for Prime Signatures, please take a moment to review the information there in regard to your anticipated shipping date and what happens if you don't pull a card. 5 boxes, 2011 Panini Prime Signatures Football, 1/2 case, break number 66. And of course, like everything else, ended tonight the 26th. Live streaming tonight. We had a few unsold teams in here, which doesn't happen real often on Prime Signatures, but they are designated as no bids buyback. So anytime you see something that says that, well, that just means it's an orphan team, and if anything were to come out for one of those teams, it would hang out here with me. Otherwise, it'll go out to one of you. Ryan Keene says he'll just go by R. Keene. Try to make it easy. Oh, Eric, you got skunked. I'm sorry, man. That's never any fun. You're out of here, Eric? All right, well, hopefully we'll have better luck for you the next time, man. I'm sorry we didn't have good luck for you tonight. So if you haven't done a break with 2011 Prime Signatures before, a couple things you should know about it. It is 1 pack per box. It is 1 hit per pack, typically. Occasionally, we have found 2 hits in a box, but that's sort of rare. And everything will be numbered in here, too. All of our cards, even the base cards, will have a number on them. If we find redemptions, they will show as expired, but you do still want to put them in your Panini account, just like you would do an unexpired. That's just a checklist. Just like you would enter an unexpired redemption. Believe it or not, they often still have cards as far back as, I see a redemption already anyway, but they'll often have cards back from 29, 2010, 2011. So if they have it, usually you're going to see it show up in about 2 months on an old one like this. If you haven't gotten anything in a couple of months, it is a safe assumption that they don't still have it. And that's when the real fun begins. They will trade it out for you. They'll give you another card. But you have to find an actual human being to make that happen. And Panini kind of makes that a little bit hard. So I suggest usually trying Facebook or Twitter. One of the social media sites is usually the best way to go with that. All right, so here we go. Warren Sapp to $4.99 for the Bucks. Maurice Jones-Drew to $4.99 Jags. Barry Sanders to $4.99 for the Lions. And the Tennessee Titans hit Jake Locker to $1.99. That is an on-card signature. Basically, if the rookie was at the rookie premiere day, it'll be on card. If he wasn't, it'll be a sticker in here. Rosie Greer to $4.99 for the Rams. Oh, man. Sorry, I just saw that I just saw a pop-up come by that apparently the Steelers traded Martavis Bryant to the Raiders for something, some kind of draft capital. Jason Witten to $4.99 for the Cowboys. Darren McFadden to $49 for the Raiders, and a redemption, which we will go to the website to verify. We're not going to try to use that weird printed list. Santonio Holmes to $4.99 for the Jets. Phillip Rivers, $4.99 Chargers. Mr. Tom Brady to $4.99 for the Patriots. Hey, Chad Ochocinco. Once upon a time known as Chad Johnson. That is for the Patriots. And it is numbered to 49, and it's a sticker auto. So nice little unusual hit there for the Patriots. We don't hit that one a whole lot. Arielis Ben to $4.99 for the Bucks. Jason Witten, $4.99 Cowboys. Andre Reed to $99 for the Bills. And a nice little Ryan Kerrigan to $25 for the Redskins. That one is a sticker. Ryan Keene, I'll say your last name since we got more than one Ryan in here. Ryan Keene says his sons Dylan and Mason say hi. So hi to Dylan and Mason too. Colt McCoy to $4.99 for the Browns. Sam Bradford to $4.99 for the Rams. Chad Greenway to $99 for the Vikings. Oh, nice, guys. Demarius Thomas to $75 for the Broncos. That is a pretty cool little hit for the Broncos, in my opinion. Anyway, I like Demarius Thomas. So our redemption, Rookie Signature Silver RPS, card 242. We're going to roll over to the Panini checklist and check it out. I'm putting it in a sleeve so that I can write on it. Of course, we don't otherwise have to have a big block of a card with nothing else on it in a sleeve, other than the fact that I like to write on them. So give me a second to get the Panini checklist up, and I will then bring you along with me, and we'll see if we can't get this sorted out. Oh, I forgot to bring you, didn't I? I got it, and I'm going through the drop-down menu. Yeah, I forgot to switch your view. That would maybe make things a little easier if you're seeing the same thing I'm seeing, right? I know. Sometimes I forget to switch this over. What are we opening here? Prime Signatures. And let me get this back again. Rookie Signature Silver RPS. Because why not make it a really long name? Is that it? Yeah. Card number 242 is Jarrell Jernigan for the Giants to 249. So our redemption heading to the Giants. And we will recap our hits here out of Prime Sigs before we move into Bowman, which will be coming up next. So the redemption here for the Giants to 249. Demarius Thomas to 75 for the Broncos. To 25, Ryan Kerrigan for the Redskins. To 49, Chad Ochocinco for the Patriots. And then Jake Locker to 199 for the Titans. So 2011 Prime Signatures for tonight is wrapped up. It was Roger Juan. The jersey was Roger Staubach and the Dallas Cowboys. A really nice jersey hit tonight. Super nice. Cowboys. Don't pull a lot of Roger Staubach autographed jerseys, or at least I don't personally. So I think that's a fine hit. We'll get our spreadsheet back up and running. And of course, we're coming into Bowman Baseball. If you are one of the people that did not have that paid as of about 10 or 15 minutes ago, please go in and take care of payment on that. Please don't leave me stuck with a bunch of teams. And of course, it is a paid shipping break, so it's going to ship a little faster than our free shipping breaks. And I am anticipating Saturday. There's a slight possibility I could get it out the door tomorrow. Saturday is the most likely. And if something really weird happened, it could possibly slide to Monday. Because, of course, Saturday is a short post office day anyway. But right now, I'm anticipating Saturday. So this is 6 boxes of 2018 Bowman Baseball. We started this case last night. This is the back half of the case. And, of course, it ended tonight, April the 26th. And we're live streaming it right now. And we're getting ready to jump into it here in a hot second. if you were not part of the original break last night, the way that I determined which boxes to open is we took every box out of the case. I numbered them on the end, and then I used random.org to determine which ones we opened last night versus which ones are left for tonight. And that's typically what I do when we're opening, when I'm cracking into a brand new case, but we're not going to open all the boxes in the case that night. That's usually what I will do, is take them out and number them. And that just keeps it all kind of nice and transparent and easy to follow and all that kind of stuff. Brian's laughing over the fact that it was that we pulled Jake Locker. I know, man, but the NFL is full of players who once upon a time we thought would be good, and we quickly found out was not the case. So NFL is littered with them. Brian says everything that is worth anything in Bowman has already been pulled. Okay, well, that's I think that's a little bit of a broad generalization there, but what I believe you're saying is that probably the Ohtani Superfractor has been pulled. Is that what you're telling us there, Brian? Yes, he says there was a card shop in Woodbury, Minnesota. I'm assuming that is the Superfractor 1 of 1 that you're talking about that is autographed. But I would beg to differ that that is the only thing worth something, especially considering that we have seen Ohtani numbered to 100 selling in excess of $30,000 already. And those are autographs of which there are 100. And of course, there are going to be some even lower than that. There's plenty of things to hit between 1 of 1 and numbered to 100, but quite frankly, I'd be happy with the $30,000 if it were me. So I don't really think I'd say anything worth pulling's been hit, but everybody's got their own view, of course. We're going to find plenty of inserts in here. One of them is Bowman birthdays. I'm going to set all of those kinds of things that refract that will ultimately go into a sleeve. I'm going to set them aside, and we'll do the sleeves after the break unless it's numbered. That way I don't have to slow you down, because some people do find it cumbersome when I stop and do it all as we go. So, of course, we saw Bowman trending a moment ago. That's an insert set. So is the Talent Pipeline, which that one was. So many different inserts in here. We'll also find the Bowman Scouts Top 100 that we see in here annually. And I'm sure some other odds and ends that I'm not remembering at the moment will probably run across as well. Oh, Brian, I haven't bookmarked on eBay. All you have to do is pull up any of those auctions. All you have to do is type in Bowman Ohtani Auto and you'll see them. There was one yesterday that was already at $37,000 on eBay for an autographed up to 100. There were several others that were listed as well, probably at least 5 of them listed that were to 100. But the one that I saw with the highest price, I don't know what it started at, but the bidding was currently at like $37,000 the last time I looked at it, which was last night. But you can find any of those on eBay just by simply typing in Ohtani Bowman Auto, and then you can sort it by price, highest to lowest, or however you want to sort it, but I sorted it by price, highest to lowest. I think it had a day or 2 left on it, but if it did already end, of course, you can see the same thing just by hitting completed listings once you do the search. But there were several of them in there. Yeah, there's a bunch of them in there, Brian. As I said, I bookmarked several of them right now. Of course, I'm in the middle of the live break, so I can't really tell you exactly what they are at this exact moment, but I will be happy to take care of that for you at the end of the break. If you're still here, I can log into my eBay account and happily pull up the auctions that I bookmarked yesterday. So I don't know why you don't see it today unless something happened and it sold already. I mean, that's possible, I guess. I don't know. Well, I don't know, Brian. It seems like you're very cynical about about Ohtani and about the Bowman product in general. But I have to, I have to disagree with you. I think there are lots of things in Bowman worth having besides just Ohtani. Bowman is one of my favorite products of the year, so I'm not one that's going to jump on the bandwagon and say, oh, the whole product is terrible now that the superfractor of Ohtani has been hit. That's not really my view on it, but I appreciate the fact that some people feel differently. So for the New York Mets, we have a Molina Shimmer numbered to 125. I mean, honestly, that's kind of the fun of Bowman for me, is the prospecting. I mean, you really kind of don't know what you're going to have in many cases for several years. We can guess and speculate. Sometimes we guess right. Sometimes we guess wrong, and somebody comes out that we weren't expecting to come out, you know? Bo Bichette, Bowman trending for the Blue Jays. Well, Ryan, I think you said eBay gets 10,000, but you know what? Doesn't eBay cap their fees at a certain amount? I thought that they did. There's an Anthony Banda Rookie of the Year favorites. That's one of the other insert sets we'll see a fair amount of as we go through. I thought that eBay capped their fees at a certain dollar amount when you're talking about percentage of sale, anyway. And maybe not. I don't know, but I thought that they did. Reese Hoskins. Either way, I'll tell you this. If I pulled the Ohtani and I were going to get $50,000 for it, I mean, yeah, I'd be a little ticked if eBay took 10 grand. That's like crazy money, but I don't think they would take that much anyway, right? They would take 10%. So it would be like 5,000 if one sold for 50,000. Which is still a tremendous amount, but I would also be really happy to have the money. So that's, you know, there's good and bad to all that, I guess. But if I pulled it, especially if you just pulled it like out of a pack, can you imagine? If you were the person, maybe you went into that card store and you just bought one pack of cards and there was the Ohtani Superfractor, you just have a heart attack right there on the spot. This is Franklin Colomb to 250 for the Phillies. Yeah, for sure, Juan. Their fee is 10% for most of the categories, but I really thought that it was capped at a certain dollar amount, like 10% up to whatever it is, and then that was it, like $500, $1,000, whatever the cap was, but maybe I'm wrong. Molina to 250 for the Mets. I'm not usually selling $50,000 things or ever selling $50,000 things on eBay, so I could be wrong about that. Here's a nice little atomic Hunter Green for my Cincinnati Reds, and it is also the Bowman Sterling continuity in here, numbered to 150. So cool little hit there for Hunter Green and the Cincinnati Reds. What team was the last pipeline? Oh boy, is it in this stack that I just picked up? I don't know, or did I probably set it aside. Yeah. So, Giants on that most recent pipeline. I do try to generally set aside those sort of things so that A, I can put them in a sleeve, And B, in case you guys want to look at them again, they're somewhat handy. Oh, Jimmy Buchanan. Jimmy says that the cap is $750. Thanks, Jimmy. I thought that there was a cap, but I just wasn't 100% sure, and I also wasn't sure what it was. So, $750. There we go. Which is still, you know, easy money for them and a lot for one of us to have to give up if we were selling something like that. But as a whole, probably would be worth it if you pulled that card. Avia Atomic for the Padres. Pulled a lot of Avia out of the first half of this case as well. So he seems to be featured prominently in Bowman, at least in this case of Bowman he has been. There's an Ohtani base rookie. Jack Flaherty is our autograph hit, and it is numbered to 499. Nice little refractor chrome variation for the St. Louis Cardinals. All right, so that has our first box finished up. We're getting ready to jump into box number 2. I can't believe somebody already hit that superfractor that fast. I mean, I can believe it. Obviously, they did, but usually it takes a little bit longer to surface, but I guess everybody's just been going nuts with this product, so I guess it's not all that surprising. It's been opened in such massive quantities in the last 24 hours. What I will be curious to see, though, is knowing that that is now off the table and has been pulled. Wonder what that's going to do to all the places that have marked up the cases to $1 gazillion. Because there's a lot of places sitting on a lot of cases. And gosh, they were asking, what, $2K for the wax and almost just under $3,000 a case for the jumbos as of last night. Now, my curiosity is, will that change? Will that change the demand now that the superfractor's been hit for Ohtani? I don't know that it will. Because, as I say, there's so much more in this product. Bueller to $4.99 for the Dodgers. So, maybe yes, maybe no. I would like for them to come down in price a little bit, because that's highway robbery, frankly, but I imagine they're selling it because they raised the price a couple times already, so they must be selling. Somebody's buying it at that price. I don't know who, but somebody is. A Bowman birthday for DeYoung. I see another atomic refractor coming in behind us here. Corey Ray for the Milwaukee Brewers is our atomic hit. Yeah, exactly what you said there, Ryan K. For sure. Some of these distributors that held this stuff back and wouldn't let us buy it at the pre-order price, which, by the way, they already make a really healthy profit on, just not for nothing. And they would only let us buy a small amount and said they didn't have any more and all that kind of garbage when you knew they did. And then, of course, miraculously, you know, it ships out 2 days ahead, right? So if it comes out on a Wednesday, they ship it to us on Monday. And we pay for it on Monday and all that. So miraculously, from Monday, when they were completely sold out and had no more and couldn't spare a single case, to Wednesday morning, all of a sudden, oh, they had a bunch at 3 times the price. The other Ryan, Superfly Ryan, says that you should sell it for a penny and charge $50,000 for shipping. Well, I'll tell you what, Ryan, that is the reason that eBay started charging he stuck to the back there. Stuart did. That's the reason eBay started charging final value fees on shipping a couple of years ago. Luke Weaver. Because of that very thing. People would list it as like 1 penny and a gigantic shipping amount. So eBay said, hey, we'll fix that. There's a talent pipeline for the Tigers. And they began charging us that same fee for what we charge in shipping, which is a real drag, because that means, you know, basically you end up charging like another 50 or 75 cents for shipping than what you would ordinarily charge, because eBay is going to take their 10%, and of course PayPal is going to take their 3 whatever percent. So yeah, so eBay kind of caused that to happen. But I guess they would say the bidder or the sellers caused that to happen by listing them that way. I guess this would be their view on it. But either way, they started that a couple of years ago. So yeah, they take a percentage of every single dime that goes out the door. And they started not too awfully long ago saying that if they think you have made a sale by way of eBay messages, not even confirmed, but just like, let's say that they detect that you're talking to someone about selling something in eBay messages that isn't an eBay listing, they will now charge your account 10% of whatever amount they read in messages. Yeah. How about that? That's a quiet little change that they snuck in under the radar. That's why whenever you guys want one-touch cases, magnetic one-touch cases and stuff like that, that's why I always say don't talk about it in messages other than to just say, I want a magnetic one-touch case. And then I send you a PayPal money request, because, I mean, I don't want to mark those up to cover that extra 10% or whatever. Nor do I want to really donate the 10% to eBay for no apparent reason. So they're wise to most things that most people have tried. eBay has figured it out and found a way to profit from it somewhere along the way. Which is really pretty crazy when you think about it, because when I first started selling on eBay, which had been a long time ago now, I've been on there 20 plus years. And when I was first selling on there, it's a nice little Rookie of the Year favorite, Devers for the Red Sox. eBay and PayPal combined would account for about 5%. You can count on them now by the time you've paid listing fees and selling fees and all the PayPal fees and etc. They come really close to about 15% now. Bowman Sterling Continuity, Jaron Kendall for the Dodgers. So, yeah, they've raised it to roughly 5 times what it was when they started the site, and find a new thing to charge us for almost every year, it seems. But that one and the eBay message one, that one just kills me, because they don't even know if it's done. And I mean, they'll admit that. Yeah, just if it sounds like or seems like you're going to make a sale out of messages, we're going to charge you for it. Oh, okay, bud, awesome. Crazy times. Crazy, crazy times. And I asked somebody today what the new release date is for Inception. I'm sure everybody knows by now Inception has been moved back a million times. It was supposed to be out in March, didn't come out, and all they would say then is it wasn't going to be in March, it wasn't going to be in April. Then they said it was going to be the first part of May. I forgot what date, but at any rate, now the latest estimated arrival date for Inception is June the 27th. Like, what could they possibly be doing with Inception that would keep them from getting that out for 3 months? That just seems silly to me. I mean, we're all kind of used to that kicking off the early part of the season, and boy, this year we're gonna be in the middle of summer practically before we see it. At least that's what it seems like where we're headed. Derek Hall for the Phillies, first bowman. Little refractor numbered to 499 for the Phillies. Of course, I don't care. I mean, I do care. I do want it to come on. I don't like it being delayed. But I still have lots of it coming because I love Inception. Fado to, what is that? 75 for the Tigers. Why is that 75? I always get their gold and their orange. I always want to call them the opposite thing. Orange is to 25, and I always look at the orange and want to call it gold, and then I always look at the gold and want to call it yellow. You would think I was colorblind, but I'm really not. But it just seems like it. Well, but I mean, they shouldn't be that far behind in Inception because everybody signed everything else. I mean, you know, we have our signatures here in Bowman and all the other products, which would have been handled way after Inception. So something had to have gone off the rails in regard to the manufacturing process or something. It's got to be something with either the patches or the manufacturing or some combination thereof. I don't think it's the signatures because we would be otherwise not having these other products with live signatures. They'd be full of redemptions, but they're not. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with it, why it keeps getting moved back, but I guess maybe, if we're lucky, we're going to see it in June, the end of June. But of course, the nice thing about it is we always have our what I would call younger superstars as well as the rookies. So, you know, you'll have the Mike Trouts and the Aaron Judges and stuff like that. That's one of the reasons that I like it as much as I do. Maybe some crazy person stole all the one-of-ones you said. Well, that would be interesting if they did. Yeah, last year, we just had such good luck with Inception last year. I mean, I pulled Mike Trout out of there like there was no tomorrow. One case alone, we pulled 2 Mike Trout patch autos under 50 out of one case. Oh, it was great. It was an awesome, awesome checklist last year. Just absolutely loaded. I would expect that this year they'll have a lot of Aaron Judge in there. I'm sure Mike Trout will be in there again. Of course, all of our rookies, and should be fun if we can ever get it. Tell you what, the paper card wants to stick to the back of the chrome card about every time. Kind of suctioned on there. To 125 for the Braves, we have Ian Anderson. Speaking of the Braves, Acuna laid it on my Reds again today. I think Ozzie had a good game too, but of course, not that I thought the Reds were going to win anyway. But Acuna hit a couple of nice shots again today, including one that went into the upper deck. Yeah, went out at like 100, what did it say, 103 mile an hour out or something like that. Medina to 150 for the Phillies and traveled 416 feet, I think it was. Which, of course, the upper deck of a Cincinnati Reds game these days is pretty empty. So they didn't have anybody really to fight over the ball. There's just kind of one guy up there, ran a few rows over and grabbed it. It's pretty funny from that perspective. The Reds have been so bad. Nobody's even showing up anymore. Toronto Blue Jays to 499. But I'm glad they finally got him up here anyway. He should have started the season on the roster, but of course, we all know why he didn't. They like to have that extra year of control. So they send them all the good ones back down to the minors for a few weeks. So I know we're opening baseball, but obviously the NFL draft's going on tonight. Has anybody been watching it? Besides, I was watching it earlier, obviously, but any of you guys been watching it? I can't help but look at Baker Mayfield going #1 overall to the Browns and just seeing Johnny Manziel 2.0. I mean, Baker might have a little better arm than Johnny Football had, but they have that same kind of demeanor, if you will, for lack of a better word. And they both have kind of the same questions surrounding them pre-draft. In both cases, there's somebody else that the Browns could have taken, but they like the swagger and whatever. I don't know. Baker Mayfield just seems so much like Johnny Football 2.0. It's kind of scary. Well, I'm not a Browns fan. I'm a Steelers fan, so it doesn't really necessarily scare me from that regard, but you know what I mean. Tyler O'Neill for the Cardinals, Atomic Refractor. It scares me in the sense that I don't really want to have the Browns only win one game again next year. Or no games. They won no games last year, one game the year before. So they've won once in 2 seasons. Like, that's just no fun to watch. My Steelers have got to show up and play them, and it's just boring and terrible. So I'd like for them to at least put a competitive product on the field, maybe. Nobody should win only one game in 2 seasons. It's got to be just demoralizing if you play on that team. That's just got to be awful. I would hate that. T. Cassidy, you watched the first 18 picks, so you didn't watch far enough down to see who my Steelers picked then. Okay. Because we were, what, like pick 28 or something. We're pretty far down. I was just curious if we ended up with Leighton Van Der Esch or somebody else. But I think Barkley to the Giants is going to be awesome. Of course, everybody knows I'm a Saquon Barkley fan anyway. But I like him going to the Giants as the #2 overall. I was a little surprised that Josh Rosen fell as far as he did. I mean, obviously he still went pretty high, but I think the general consensus was that he would have gone, that Darnold would have gone first and he would have gone second, but obviously it didn't work out that way. Either way, lots of QBs coming out and should make for an interesting collecting year, at least until we get them sorted out and see where they're all going to end up. See how they're all going to play, I should say. We know where they're going to end up. We'll know in a couple of days anyway. There's always some late round picks in there that make life interesting. A la Tom Brady in the 6th round. And Antonio Brown was a late round pick for my Steelers. So was Le'Veon Bell. Well, for that matter, so was Dak Prescott for the Cowboys. Yeah, Jabril Peppers I like. You're right about that. Jabril Peppers was a bright spot for their draft process last year. Of course, Deshaun Kaiser's gone. They traded him away to Green Bay, so he's long gone. But I think Deshaun would have been fine there. Deshaun, rather, if they hadn't tried to throw him into the fire before he was ready. That is to 150 for the Astros Bowman Scouts Top 100 Atomic Refractor. They just did not do that kid any favors last year. I mean, he needed some seasoning. He needed to sit behind somebody and learn and grow, and they just threw him into the fire, and there was no no help. So I think he'll do much better setting in and learning behind Aaron Rodgers. Ahmed Rosario, Bowman Sterling continuity for the Mets. Yeah, the Browns do need some receivers, but I mean, they need a lot of things. They really do. They could have used that. They could have used Barkley as well, but we knew they were going to take a quarterback at number 1, and I'm not at all surprised that Barkley went off the board at number 2. For the St. Louis Cardinals, we have Garcia as our signature hit from box number 3. So this is exactly the halfway point of this break. So this will be 3 down and 3 left to go. Yeah, I forgot what player they got back out of Green Bay for him, Ryan. I can't even remember. I knew at the time, but I've forgotten who it was. It was a off-season trade they made back a couple of months ago. But, I mean, goodness, we all knew they were going to take another quarterback anyway, so I'm kind of glad that they let Kaiser go, because that way he can get himself in a better position and sit back and learn and have kind of a fresh start and not be sitting there saddled with all those losses from last year and having to go to the bench behind whoever they drafted this year. It just would have been a bad situation for him. So I think he's far better off having been traded. For the Atlanta Braves, we have Toussaint 250 with our nice, I'm going to get it right, gold color. I'm not going to say, I still look at it and think yellow, but at least I managed to say gold that time. Oh, why I have such a hard time with getting the right color out of my mouth when it comes to Topps products. A blue shimmer for the Tigers with Kristen Stewart to 150. Of course, there's lots of chrome mixed in here with the paper, as you see, as we go along through the way. And some players, like Shedlong, have both paper and chrome. It's always just a little tantalizing tidbit to get our appetites ready for Bowman Chrome to come out in the early fall. Ona for the Padres, Atomic Refractor. That's another one that's just going to be crazy to try to get this year. I'm sure they're going to jack up the prices on Bowman Chrome the same way they did on regular Bowman. Probably even worse, really. We may have to start fighting people to get cases. Have to do cage matches. Winner take all. The winner gets to buy a case. The loser just goes home with a busted face. I mean, realistically, wouldn't you think they would increase their production? They do increase it a little, but just a very, very small amount. Because the way it is now, Topps makes the same amount of money. The distributors are the ones who reap the benefits of Topps making fewer cases, not Topps. They could sell more and make more. But instead, they make less, and then the distributors mark it way up, and they're living large. So you would think Topps would want to take control of that and make some of that money, but I guess they don't view it that way. Kind of like some of the artists do with concerts now. Because, you know, it used to be very commonplace that if you wanted to set in the first probably 10 rows or so, unless you were just extremely lucky, you most of the time had to buy your tickets from scalpers. And, of course, the scalpers were marking it way up, making a ton more money than the artist was making. So that, of course, led to the advent of the special seats. They all the artists give them different names, but the end result is the same. They keep control of those better seats now, and they just charge what it used to be that the scalpers would charge you, and the artist keeps the money. Same kind of concept. Ryan, score football is always fun, but it's just a massive amount of cards. So the moral of that story is it will be a long break. You gotta like bring a snack and a pillow and a blanket to that break, because it is 400 cards a box. So we're talking 1,600 cards to break a third of the case, which is more than even, that's more than even a half case of Topps Jumbo would be. Topps Jumbo half case, I think, is 1,500. So it's a massive amount of cards. But there are, oh gosh, I would have to look at the product description, 4 or 5 autographs per box in that. And I don't remember exactly which one of those is correct. However, I do post the product description always at the very bottom of the eBay listing. So if you ever want to know about something like that, like how many packs or how many hits or whatever the case may be, you can always scroll down to the bottom of my description and you'll find it in there. And somewhere it will tell us, but it's 4 or 5. Our hit here is for the Pirates with Luis Escobar. Little first bowman for the Pirates, numbered to 499, because it also refracts. But score is always kind of fun to open because it's not a huge cost. It's not one of the super, super expensive products, but you get a decent number of hits out of it. And, of course, they're early hits, which that's always a good thing. Because we're all excited to get into the new draft classes as soon as we can. And it's one of the earlier licensed products that come out every year. Of course, this year they're adding a little wrinkle in there. Got a new product coming up that will have, it's either draft day or next day signatures in it. Which, you know, they've been doing that with basketball for a while. They do that with Donruss basketball, has next day, draft next day signatures in it. But this will be the first football product that they've done that. And I think it is called Luminance is the one that has the draft day signatures, if I'm remembering correctly. Because they've announced several new products recently. Sometimes I get the names mixed up. It is 4 autographs. Okay, cool. Thank you for verifying that for us. So that way we know for sure. We're looking at 4 autographs per box, of course. And then he says also 10 parallels per box. And I believe there are 10 rookies per box also. So out of the 4 boxes, we're going to pull 40 rookie cards. The worst part of that for me is I will not have learned all of the draftees by that point in time. So the sorting is always quite interesting. I have to stop and look up a lot of them. I won't remember them all yet. There's Eloy, Bowman Sterling continuity for the White Sox. It really usually takes a few products into the new season before I can remember everybody off the top of my head, because it's really hard when you see them still in their collegiate uniforms. It's hard for me, for whatever reason, to get it fixed in my mind where their new team is. And then once I've seen them in their pro uniforms a few times, then it starts to kind of gel and I remember it better. And of course, obviously, by the time we get even close to the start of the season, we've opened enough stuff that by then I remember it with no problem. But these early products are always a challenge. Yeah, it is a massive product. There's no question about that. You're right, Brian. Massive is a good way to say it. Because, I mean, I'm even at a third of a case at 1,600 cards. You know, that's just crazy. You're talking almost 5,000 cards, just under 5,000 cards in that case. Or actually, no, more than that. Oh, no, maybe that's right. What did I say it is? 400 a box, so 1,600 a break. So, yeah, that's right. So then you've got 4,800 cards in the case, I guess. And there's plenty of veterans in there, too. I mean, it's a pretty big checklist as a whole when you get into score. See, there's another one stuck behind there. They like to hang on to the back of those chrome cards for whatever reason. Hall for the Baltimore Orioles is our atomic refractor. And our hit, well, that is a nice hit too for the Braves, Joey Wentz. So Braves with a nice little signature hit there with Joey. And we have a Sean Murphy blue to 150 for the A's. I am looking forward to score because I do like to get into the new football stuff. I just wish it had slightly fewer cards in it. That's all. That's just a lot of cards. Of course, I could say that for many products. Yeah, frankly, I wish Bowman had fewer cards in it. And I do that every time. I keep taking the one, I see the one that I want to set aside, the parallel, and I take the one right before it and try to set it in the parallel pile. Keep doing that. But yeah, if Bowman had slightly fewer cards, we would break it by the full case. But since it has so many, that's why we break it by the half. Although we may do some full cases down the road. We'll get through a few of them as half cases, and then we might do some full cases somewhere along the way. Not of score, but I'm talking about a Bowman. Oh no, I would not do a full case of score. Can you imagine? That would be it'd probably take a couple hours, 2-3 hours to go through a full case of score, I bet. At least. Because no matter how fast you go, there's a certain amount of time involved with just opening the packs and shuffling through the cards. There's no way around it. Though I will say it does have fewer packs in it. Because it's there's only 10 packs per box, but then it's 40 cards per pack. There was a nice little insert for my Reds with Sean Green. What am I saying? Hunter Green for my Cincinnati Reds. I don't know where my head just went right there. But it was a nice insert for my Cincinnati Reds with Hunter Green, who I would really like to pull an autograph of somewhere along the way. There's an A's pipeline. And of course, I'm sure so too would be the person who has the Cincinnati Reds. Probably also would like to have a Hunter Green come out. Well, good grief. Last couple of wrappers there did not come off nice and cleanly. There's a nice little Aussie Rookie of the Year and a Rookie of the Year favorites insert. Braves do have themselves a nice young group. Would have been a nicer young group if they hadn't violated all those international recruiting little situation there. Made life difficult for them. The Phillies with a Bowman Sterling continuity for Mickey. Vlad Bowman trending for the Toronto Blue Jays. Bowman birthday. I like the card design for Bowman this year. I mean, it's always kind of basic. There's not ever a ton of fancy stuff in it, but it's nice. Oh, my iPad's like freezing up on me there. I swear, my iPad is really finicky these days. I have to watch the break on that. I can't watch it on the laptop that I run the broadcast software from, because otherwise it causes echoing and all kinds of problems. So I have to watch it on the iPad so I can see chat and all that. Colton Welker to 499. That is paper for the Rockies. But lately, my iPad's been giving me problems. It's not wanting to play well. To 499 for the Dodgers. Of course, obviously, it's the chrome that I have. When you see me stop and set them down one at a time, there's usually a chrome card involved. I try not to slide the other cards across it, although, frankly, with the coating they use on chrome these days, I don't really think it would do it any harm. In the old days, it would have definitely, because the coating was completely different, but in this day and age, I really don't think it would matter, but still, for the sake of safety, I'll try not to slide them across the other cards too much, or slide the other cards across them too much, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I'll get it out in a minute. Of course, we've got the Yankees and the Angels series to look forward to. I think it's Fox Sports 1 that's going to be broadcasting that, if I'm remembering correctly. That ought to be fun to watch. Whoops, there's somebody stuck behind there again. Just in general, I think that the Angels are fun to watch right now. I mean, they've got a good core in there. Not just Ohtani, obviously, but you've got Mike Trout. And a lot of other folks that they've moved in the off season. I think they're kind of fun to watch. I think the Yankees are fun to watch. Goodness knows, the Braves are fun too, but I can't spend too much time watching the Reds these days because it just makes me sad. So I've got to find other teams to amuse myself with for the time being. San Francisco Giants with Fabian. And the bad part is I don't really see much on the horizon. I mean, like we have Nick Senzel, right? And that's good. And we have, of course, Hunter Green, and that's good. But it's not like I look at our farm system and think, wow, we are so loaded that in another year we'll be amazing. It doesn't look like that. Of course, when we finish looking through this last box here, I will go back through and recap our autograph hits and our numbered cards. I believe I have everything numbered set aside. Occasionally, I might stack one in the wrong place, but I try to keep all the numbered ones set aside so that we can recap them. There's an atomic for the Detroit Tigers. And then, of course, obviously recap the signature, which definitely are set aside. And then I'll also put up the spreadsheet again if anyone happened to miss it earlier and you want to take a look at your anticipated shipping date or any of that kind of jazz. We'll put that up again very quickly as well after the recap. Andrew Benintendi to 499 for the Red Sox. Talent Pipeline again, that one for the Rockies. Of course, all of those are refractors, all the Talent Pipelines. Most of the inserts refract in here. It's typically that way with Bowman. Jordan, how are you, man? I haven't seen you in here in forever. Yeah, we've already done the prime signatures. That was way back, way back. We're almost done with Bowman. So we finished up prime signatures probably about an hour ago, close to it. Who did you have, Jordan? What was your team? Meanwhile, let me see. Andrew Stevenson was kind of trying to jump ship on me there and more or less caught him on the way down, but I just wanted to take another look, and he does seem to be fine, no worse for the wear. That's what I get for looking over there at chat. Garrett to 499 for the Marlins. You had the Raiders. You know, Jordan, I think we had might have had a base card for the Raiders, but I don't think our hit was the Raiders. Let me think. Who were our hits in there? We had a redemption for the Giants. I had Jake Locker for the Titans. I had somebody for the Redskins. Had Ocho Cinco for the Patriots. And I don't know. Was that 5? It might not have been 5. I may have forgotten somebody, but I don't think that the hits were... I don't think we had a Raiders hit, but we might have had a Raiders base number 2. I'm not sure about that, but I think so. To 499, Chatham for the Red Sox. Yeah, Jordan, where have you been keeping yourself, man? I figured I would see you for Flawless and NT and some of that stuff, but I didn't. So I was like, where is Jordan? All right, we are rolling into the last of this. Our next break of this, which is Sunday, I believe, right? Because we're doing score tomorrow night, Friday. We're doing basketball all day Saturday, or all night Saturday. Sunday, I think, is the next Bowman break. And it will, of course, be the start of a brand new case, because this is the back end of a case that we started last night on release day. Yeah, I wish my UPS guy came earlier, but he's so spotty. Some weeks he'll come and be here by 2 o'clock on release day. Other weeks, he might not show up till 5, 6, 7 o'clock. If he would ever have a consistent time where I knew he was going to show up every single week, I would probably do some breaks, you know, list some stuff the night before, and we would break it in the afternoon of release, and then we'd break it again release night with auctions that ended release night. But with him being so unreliable with his delivery times, I'm afraid to do that. There's Vlad for the Blue Jays in a Bowman Sterling Refractor Continuity. Oh, your work schedule has been crazy, and and you said you ran into some people with deep pockets. I understand that, man. I've been running into people with deep pockets trying to get my Cincinnati Reds in these Bowman breaks to keep getting outbid. Every time I bid, I lose. So I definitely understand that. And I understand working a lot, too, because I do spend a lot of hours working, so I can relate on both those fronts. But I'm glad to see you tonight. I'm glad you jumped into chat to say hey. Of course, I'm always glad to see you. You know that. All right, so these I really shouldn't have sat there because the rest of these are atomics, and somehow I set that Bowman Sterling Continuity there, probably because we just looked at it, but that's all right. So this is a quick little fly through our atomic refractors, including one that is numbered. This one is numbered to 150. The rest of these are unnumbered on the atomics. And here's a Chatham to 499. That one is paper. This is to 499 chrome. Benintendi is 499 paper. This is 499 chrome. 499 paper on the Welker, 150 chrome. This is blue shimmer to 150 on the chrome. Toussaint is 250 for the Braves, to 499 on chrome. Medina is to 150 paper. Anderson is to 125 on chrome. Alex is to 75 on chrome. Walker is to 499 on paper. This is to 150 for Hunter Green on chrome. Molina is to 250 on chrome. Colomb is 250 on paper. And then we have a shimmer to 125 for the Mets with Molina. So that's a little spin through our numbered hits, our signature hits. Fabian for the Giants. Nice little Joey Wentz for the Braves. Escobar for the Pirates. Garcia for the Cardinals, Hall for the Phillies, and Flaherty to $4.99 for the Cardinals. So that is Bowman Baseball tonight for this half case. And as promised, I will put up our spreadsheet again and let everyone take a look at that in case you missed it earlier, or if you're watching the recap and you've just scrolled to the end. Here's once again the anticipated shipping information, and of course, as always, something can go out a day earlier if all is on schedule, and sometimes a day later if something goes strange, unexpected. So obviously on Saturday, if something were to go a day later, it would be Monday because there's no postal service operations on Sunday. But I think Saturday is pretty safe, possible maybe even Friday tomorrow, but I think most likely Saturday. And again, here's a quick little scroll through what we're looking at in the days ahead. Of course, tomorrow night our case is Score Football with some one-box things in there as well. Saturday night, our case is going to be Donruss Basketball, looking for those next day signatures and some one-box breaks in there. Sunday, we've got an autographed jersey. We've got a half case of 2011 Prime Signatures. We're going to do a full 3-box case of the Onyx Preferred Players autographed baseballs, and the checklist on that is awesome. It's better than it has been in, well, that I can remember. So be sure and look at the checklist because it is really awesome. And we're going to do, as I said, the full case there, so 3 balls. And then we'll open a new case of Bowman Baseball. On Monday, we'll do a full-size helmet. We'll do another stroll through on Score Football. On Tuesday, we'll do some more Bowman, as well as some signature series, another case of the autographed baseballs. And we're going to do a little Hit Parade triple play box that night, too. Those triple play boxes are cool in the sense that they have an autographed jersey, an autographed baseball, and an autographed photograph in there. So there's actually 3 hits in that box. So more chances to win, if you will. And so that's what we're looking at for the days ahead as well. So once again, thanks to everyone who participated tonight. I appreciate everyone always who hangs out with me, chats with me, bids and breaks with me, and all that stuff. So hope everyone is having a good week, and we'll have a good start to our weekend tomorrow. We're almost there. So until I see you next, take care. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.